Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This Board of Education meeting is called to order. May we have the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to
flag
the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
Republic
for which
for
it
which
stands,
stands,
one nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty,
and justice
and justice
for all.
for all. Roll call: Jean Bowie,
Present.
Nicole Bouchard, absent. Addie Daniels Lane,
Present.
Yolanda Lopez,
Present.
Teron McKnight, absent. Gerald Trueheart,
Present.
Jeannie Weeklam,
Present.
Sade Williams, absent. We have a quorum.
The New Jersey Sunshine Law. The New Jersey Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right to the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. On the rules of this act, the Trenton Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting by publicizing the date, time, and place, therefore posted on the webpage, the Times, and the Star Ledger. Formal action will take place at this meeting. Mission statement. All students will graduate with a vision for their future, motivated to learn continually, and prepared to succeed in their choice of college or career. At this time, I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call: Jean Bowie,
Yes.
Nicole Bouchard, absent. Addie Daniels Lane,
Present.
Yolanda Lopez,
Yes.
Teron McKnight, absent. Gerald Trueheart,
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam,
Yes.
Sade Williams, absent. Motion passed.
At this time, we are going to move directly to the public participation section. And with that, let me just read the advisory for the public commentary. The Trenton Public School District welcomes the attendance and comments from all members of the public at its meetings. This public comment period is your time to be heard on any school or school district issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the school district. Each person who signed up to comment will have 5 minutes. You will be notified when your 5 minutes are up. You cannot yield your time to another person. When it is your turn to speak, please address all of your comments to the board president. Please conduct yourself in a respectful and courteous manner. For anyone whose comments or actions either harass, intimidate, or threaten the safety of any person, we will provide you with a warning or immediately end your comment time. Also, if you curse, use vulgar language, or make personal attacks, we will provide you with a warning or end your comment time. Comments that adhere to these guidelines will not be interrupted. Also, we ask that members of the public not interrupt the speaker during their public comment. If you have questions, please ask your questions during your 5-minute comment period. After the public comment period is closed, the board superintendent or designee will address your questions to the extent provided by law. That is the advisory for a public commentary. And at this time, we'll begin with our first person. The first person being, and excuse me, the first person's name is Grace Rerich. Miss Grace Rerich. All right, at this point, I will hold and move on to the next person. The next person is Miss Dawn Leto Todd. Miss Dawn Leto Todd. Okay, not hearing her, I will move on to the next person. The next person is Miss Cynthia Braddock. Miss Cynthia Braddock. Again, not hearing her, I will move to the next person. The next person being Miss Jenny Polino. Miss Jenny Polino. Not hearing her, again, I'll move to the next person. Daniel Siegel. Daniel Siegel. Not hearing him, I'll move to the next person. The next person being Shirley Hicks. No Shirley. Next person, Miss Sandra Jimenez. Sandra Jimenez. Next person, Miss Talithia Duncan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here on this lovely Wednesday morning to let you know we have some serious issues going on throughout the district. The first issue I want to address are the suspected COVID-19 outbreaks, specifically at the high school, and how our members are being contacted and how contact tracing is going on. One of my teachers was approached yesterday and told a student possibly tested for COVID. And the main concern was not advising him of his level of exposure. The main concern he was asked was he vaccinated? Now, based on your reopening plan, that is not how things are supposed to take place. He does not feel comfortable coming back into the school. I believe, based on an email I received from another teacher in Trenton High, that the student did in fact test positive for COVID. And I would like to know, how are you informing members of the community that their kids have been exposed to COVID when you're not even exposing your staff members correctly in regards to their exposure to COVID? Want to bring another incident to light: early childhood. Last week, we received notice that a staff member tested positive for COVID. The COVID case was confirmed. My team, when we were doing walkthroughs, were in the building. We have still not been contacted to say that we might have been exposed to COVID. I brought this up in a meeting and I informed Mr. Yano that, and I reached out to Micah Freeman. She was not in the district. I was told by her secretary she would be back today. However, the teacher that sent the letter this morning said that Micah did in fact call her to say she had been exposed to COVID because one of her students tested positive. So my question is, when are the people who were in the early childhood building for walkthroughs going to be contacted based on your own reopening plan that we may have been exposed to COVID? My second concern that I want to talk about this morning is the superintendent search. Now that Mr. Yano has been very clear with his intentions, why has the public still not been informed of who's still in the candidate pool, who's still a finalist? And I don't want to go off of rumors, but based on a couple rumors that we have heard, 2 of these possible finalists may have previously worked in the Trenton Public School District. And so I want to know if you all, as board members, if the rumor is true, have reached out to former superintendents that have worked here to talk and ask questions about these 2 candidates who may be finalists, to see why, number one, they left the district. Did they leave voluntarily or did they leave involuntarily? And if they didn't leave voluntarily, why would they now be in the finalist pool to take over such an important job? It is your job as the board to ask the important questions. It is your job as the board to make sure that the district follows protocols, procedures, and plans that they put in place that you approve. And so I'm asking you all to check on the possible outbreak of COVID at the high school and to call former superintendents such as Francisco Duran or whoever and ask questions about the possible finalists that you all still will not share with the public. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. I'm going to move to the next person. The next person would be Ms. Janice Williams.
Yes, good morning, board. Talithia already spoke about the superintendent search. I believe I sent an email to all board members regarding the same issue. But number one, I want to start with this. It has come to my attention that there have been some testing violations, SAT and PSAT testing violations at one of our district schools. And with me having that information, I am obligated now to report it to the Office of Accountability and Fiscal Management with DOE. This is a serious allegation that has come to my attention. And if this pans out to be true through investigation, then the individuals involved must be put on administrative leave immediately until the investigation is concluded. Had this been one of my members, immediately my member would have been put on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. This can do irreparable harm to some of our students and irreparable harm to the district if we have not reported this violation to the state as required by law. Number two, I'm going to ask this Board of Education to have a conversation with its leadership team. It appears to me, that there are members of this leadership team who, and I don't know who they are, but who are being vindictive towards employees and trying to cause them irreparable harm through monetary reasons. You need to put a check on that, and you need to find out why that is occurring. And I know it, and I know who the individual are because the leak is already out there with the name of the person who has done this. Again, it's a rumor, it's a leak that has come to me. But I'm asking you again to tell your central leadership they need to stop trying to do irreparable harm to members of the Trenton Education Association. And thirdly, I am going to speak briefly on the superintendent search. As I told the mayor at my meeting with him on yesterday, this board is not doing its due diligence in involving the community and the unions in the superintendent search. We know who the two finalists are because there are no secrets in Trenton. We often know things that this board doesn't know, and you're surprised at how we know and how information has been leaked out. Trenton Education Association, NJA, NEA, we have extensive knowledge of all candidates who are available for superintendents. We know the good information as well as the bad information and the baggage. And one of the individuals, Addie knows, both probably, because she was still employed in the district. So I'm going to ask you, if you're not digging deep, don't embarrass this community, don't embarrass this district, and don't embarrass yourself, because I know the history of the two individuals. And we don't want any bad exposure released in the city of Trenton that could possibly take place with one of the candidates. So I'm cautioning you, board, because you're new and you only know what's on paper because you don't dig deep. Be very, very careful that Trenton does not have a blemish on its image because you have failed to include the community and stakeholders that could be of a valuable research to you in this effort out of your stubbornness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. At this point, I see that Ms. Jimenez is now here, so I'm going to go back to Ms. Jimenez. Sandra Jimenez, please unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was not able to speak at the last board meeting because I had to drop off to go to an appointment with my son. So I will speak on what I was going to speak on the other day. Good morning. I would like to start my speech this morning by wishing all the teachers in the Trenton Public School District a happy Teacher Appreciation Day. Don't you feel appreciated by the district for all of your hard work as your pay was docked? Don't you feel appreciated as you continue to be asked for extras even though that docked pay still has not been returned? Those of you who are at home working remotely for health and safety reasons kept instruction going when the district's internet was down. And yet your thank you was the docking of your pay. But please know that your students appreciate you for working so hard to make learning fun, engaging, and interesting during this rough year. Their parents appreciate you and how you have kept instruction going despite district internet outages and an assortment of other challenges. And lastly, your association appreciates you for all of your hard work because we know and understand how hard all of you have been working. But I'm here to discuss how things have really been since the students have returned to classrooms. I know there are an assortment of schools that teachers were told they would need to meet their students outside prior to them being scanned with the temperature scanners. And in some schools, teachers were expected to help scan the students themselves, although they have had no training in this area, nor are they medical professionals. At Wilson School, the temperature scanner stopped working and students were allowed to enter anyway. At Columbus School, there were problems with the online form and the principal could not tell who had filled out the form and who had not, and allowed students entry into their classrooms anyway. At PJ Hill, on the 80-degree day, there wasn't any air conditioning. How is that helping with air ventilation? Dunn, PJ Hill, and several other schools reported in that they only had one custodian present during the day. How is that possible? I know depending on who you talk to, that they hired so many additional custodians. The number does keep changing, and that we were assured that there would be walking around constantly cleaning, sanitizing, and wiping things down. It's not happening. At PJ Hill, there were reports of no trash cans being distributed for breakfast. That's not really sanitary nor clean. Wilson School had 2 kids sent home from coughs on the very first day. Robbins School was told that they were to vacate their desks when specialists came in, and they were to wipe down their area for the specialist teachers to share. I was sent pictures of parents walking through school buildings despite the numerous promises we were given that visitors would not be allowed into buildings. There were numerous reports of classrooms in different schools that were not clean between cohorts, not cleaned on Wednesday and not clean during the weekend after the cohort B. And there were internet outages and shortages throughout the district that were too numerous to count, that disrupted instruction all day long. This is how things really were. You could see things are very far from rosy. Our students have not been in the building in over a year, and this was their first day back. Teachers are being expected to figure it out and problem solve the district's problems and lack of planning, despite how disrespectfully they have been treated. Again, I have to say, shame on you. Shame on this district, shame on this board. Thank you. Have a good day and stay safe.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jimenez. Okay, so I'm looking back over my list, and at this point, I'm just going to call the names one more time, and then we're going to actually move on. So the names of the persons who had signed up previously: Grace Rarich, Dawn Lido Todd, Cynthia Braddock, Jenny Polino, Daniel Siegel, Shirley Hicks. Okay, hearing none, we have one other person, Renee Sporn. Renee Sporn. Renee Sporn. Okay, so I'm going to assume that Ms. Sporn also is not here at this time. And so at this point, we're going to close public participation section. And we're actually going to move on to board discussion and action on the consent agenda. And that has to do with the superintendent's recommendations for human resources, the board policy, the second reading on the organization meeting. So those are the items on the agenda. You've heard the concerns of the public. And again, those were the items on the agenda. So board members, any discussion? And superintendent, I neglected to give you an opportunity to make comments. I don't know if at this point, if you'd like to address the public or make any comments. Again, I neglected to offer you that opportunity at the beginning.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. At this time, I'll save my comments for the next meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, board members, any comments or thoughts or discussions?
Yeah, so I just have 2, and I'm not sure of what the status is today, but I am curious about the early childhood potential COVID exposure, and just that we reinforce with our teams the importance of following the processes. That's why they're there. So I guess that was those were my 2. And one more. As it relates to the, I know that there could possibly be a call out, but not having enough maintenance staff in each school doesn't allow us to do the necessary cleaning. So I don't know, maybe there was a call out or something could have happened, but it's really important that we do those things. Thanks. That's it, Addie.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jean.
Another comment, Addie, is I think it's important. I know we're just coming back and working through our protocols and such. I would encourage superintendent and the leadership team to over communicate about COVID-19, whether you have people who are contracting the virus, whether they be students or staff. Who are in our buildings, we need to over notify. And I would encourage also that those notifications be sent to board members, not just to staff and parents, but also to board members emails should be going out about notifications of any COVID-19 related positive cases, proper contract tracing being done. I'm not suggesting at all that it's not being done. I am suggesting and recommending that we over communicate notifications, and that those notifications not only go to parents and students and staff, but also to all board members. It's important that we know as well that all the notifications are going out and we're following our practice of notifying our students, parents, and community about any outbreaks in our school. So I look for a report or at least a comment from our superintendent next board meeting on, what we're doing about notifications and how that's working out. So appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you, Gerald. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. So I will say that, as we get in comments from the public, comments and questions from the public, we have adopted that procedure of responding at the next board meeting. And so then I trust that we will be able to respond to the concerns because, as has been said by a couple of board members, that if we have policies, procedures, and plans, we have to make sure that those are all, they're all actually implemented and followed. So that is my comment. At this particular time, then I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Jean Bowie,
Yes.
Nicole Bashwa, absent, Yolanda Lopez,
Yes.
Teron McKnight, absent, Gerald Trueheart,
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam,
Yes.
Sade Williams, absent, Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Motion passed.
With that, we have addressed the business of the agenda for today's special meeting. Is there anyone who'd like to offer any closing comments? If not, everyone have a great day. I believe it's Nurses Appreciation Day. So certainly to our school nurses, we appreciate all the hard work that you put in terms of trying to keep us safe and healthy as a district. So again, thank you to our school nurses. At this point, we need a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Roll call, Jean Bowie,
Yes.
Nicole Bashwa, absent, Yolanda Lopez. Yolanda Lopez,
I think she's frozen.
okay, yeah,
Yes.
okay. Okay, Teron McKnight, absent, Gerald Trueheart,
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam,
Yes.
Sade Williams, absent, Addie Daniels Lane.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Have a good day, everyone. Be safe.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.